Hi, I'm Emma and I'm the Young Women and Girls Project Coordinator at Oxfordshire Youth. The Young Women and Girls Project is collaborating with Survivor Space and I'm working with Sam, who is the children's ISVA there. We have decided to create a new programme to go into schools. It is involving 4 different workshops, one of which is around consent, one on guilt and shame, one on healthy relationships, and the final one will be safety planning. And so we have designed these resources alongside other young people. So it has been co-produced with a group of Year 12 students who created this to share with their peers, and we are now going into schools to deliver this education. For me, I think the biggest thing is prevention. I think that sex and relationship education going into schools and really deepening this knowledge for our young people is going to be one of the most important ways that we can prevent these sort of violence towards women and girls. So we have chosen these 4 topics specifically to cover consent, but to hopefully cover it in more depth and covering it in ways that they maybe haven't learnt from their school curriculum so far. We are covering shame and guilt because we want to bring in the aspect of mental health and making sure to talk to our young people about what feelings they might be getting from the environment that they're finding themselves in. We are talking about safety planning because actually a lot of our young people maybe actually don't know what to do when they're in an unsafe situation, and we want to be able to go through safety planning both in an online world and offline. And then we're covering healthy relationships so that we can really dig a bit deeper into the topic of what is healthy and what they can expect from a relationship, but also what is unhealthy and what they can look out for so that they can know what to avoid and how to respond if they want to get out of that situation. We actually went into the school that we are delivering this work in before we have gone in to deliver it, so that we could ask our young people what they actually wanted to learn about. And actually they reported that they are seeing a lot of comments in school that have been very normalised from boys in their year group, and there are things such as rape jokes that are completely normalised for these young people that actually they say they wouldn't challenge it. They wouldn't feel comfortable challenging it, or in fact that they would feel like they're doing it all the time if they were going to challenge it. This work was really important to do to help give them this confidence so that they know what is right and what is wrong and what they can challenge, or if they're not confident to challenge it, they can speak to a teacher or a trusted adult and they know where to turn to, and they know that absolutely this language is not acceptable to be hearing in their school. And I think that it is happening to such an extent now that they don't even realise that they can challenge it, and this can have a massive effect on their mental health and their self-esteem. A lot of young women and girls don't feel confident enough that they can be confident enough in school in case they are seen and targeted with this abuse. With a lot of the students that I'm working with, there can be a huge amount of social isolation that happens with these topics. It can be young people who are not wanting to go to school anymore because they are afraid of the things that they might hear or the abuse that they may be victim to. And I think this is a really valuable part of doing group work in schools as well, because the group work allows these girls to come together and find reassurance in one another and to find friendship, and they can work together against these issues and understand that it's not just them. So unfortunately there are huge barriers, especially when we're talking about issues of violence against women and girls and sexual violence. We know that people with disability are 2 times more likely to experience sexual violence. We also know that those of ethnic minority are more likely to experience sexual violence in their lifetime. And this is for a whole range of reasons, some of which are the access to service or limited access to service that these communities have, but also the stigma and the discrimination that they might get when accessing these services. So it's really important for us to make sure we are making our education as inclusive as possible and making sure that our support is for everyone. When creating this project, these workshops for our young people, one thing that helped to really broaden what we were putting into it was the fact that we had both myself and Sam working on it together. So we are approaching it with the same mission in mind, to end violence against women and girls, but we are coming from 2 slightly different services, and so we could bring elements of our services together and create something that fit all of our young people. And so when we are working in the sessions themselves, we make sure to have a check-in always at the beginning of the session. We want to make sure that well-being is absolutely at the top of the priority list when we're delivering these sessions. So we start with a check-in, making sure all of our young people are in the room and ready to tackle these subjects. And we also will always start with a group agreement, making sure that everyone knows what the rules are for the room, making sure that everyone has the respect and trust so that they can be open and honest within these sessions. All of our sessions are created to be inclusive to all the young people that are there, meaning that the content that we deliver on healthy and unhealthy relationships is never gendered, even though we know that it is male to female violence that is most prevalent. Males are not the only perpetrators of violence against women and girls. And so it is about making it inclusive and not specifying a gender when we are delivering that work. We've actually just started delivery this week, which has been really exciting, with 2 groups in a local school. And actually we are delivering for 4 weeks, so 1 hour a week per topic, and we are hoping that because it is a short and intensive course that we will actually be able to roll it out to as many young people across these year groups as we can. We are targeting years 9 and 10, so we are working with young women and girls aged 13, 14 and 15 to give them this key education that is hopefully deepening their understanding in these topics and going a little bit further than we know the school curriculum can.